Hey, where are you? Hey. Oh, here you are. Welcome to my new hay barn. Looks nice, right? Well, I'm lying. It's not a hay barn, but yesterday, because I'm not a professional YouTuber yet, after I finished with the last piece of ditch that I had to dig to cover the back of the greenhouse foil plastic, the rain stopped because I wanted to go home, and the rain stopped, and I had one of those get to the chopper moments, and I wouldn't say I panicked, but I realized how far behind I am with everything. Actually, let me show you what I'm talking about. Don't you just love straw? Look at it. I decided to move all of that straw from over there inside here because it was getting too wet, and already after a night in the greenhouse it smells like a mushroom factory, which is beautiful. I love the smell, but that means that it's starting to rot too much. It's not going to be super good for what I needed, and because I am a bit behind with everything, I didn't want to leave it out to start composting and get hot. By the time I have the beds organized and planted here, it would have been too decomposed, and I don't want that. I want it to be a bed topper like here. I want it to be as together and as solid as possible, so it becomes a mulch. If it's good quality and it's together and compact enough, it will be a good mulch. See, it's solid around. This is the garlic, by the way, that's coming up. So that's today project is actually exactly that. That's a mouthful. I will move all of that straw from the corner over there into the greenhouse for the first part of the day, and then I'll start mapping out the beds. And I'm not gonna just map them out all day. I'm gonna map one bed, finish it, in the sense that I'm gonna do the pathways with the mulch, with the wood chips. If I even do 5-6 beds today, if the weather keeps up, I'm gonna be a happy camper. And tomorrow rinse and repeat until all of this side of the property is mapped out with beds. This was very muddy because this is the sides where I've, dug the ditches and put the foil in. So I decided to put this super wet straw here because I didn't want to get stuck in mud every time I passed it by. And second of all, because on the sides is where I want to transplant the strawberries from inside, and also I got 2 spaces in the back where I have maybe around 30 plants of strawberries. I already have 2 here transplanted strawberries. They like straw. I know, I'm so funny, especially in the morning after coffee. So I've done this here because it was very muddy. I've dug this ditch yesterday in the rain, so it was soaked with water. This one as well. I haven't done anything on the other side yet because I kind of want to use the straw that I have for the beds, and whatever straw I'm gonna have left, I will use it here. And this is where I transplanted the sorrel, like really rough transplant, but they're strong, they're gonna survive. I believe in them. A bit of shock is gonna make them stronger. I will mulch here as well, and here in the front. The sun is up, and I think it's an amazing time to catch you guys up with what I've been doing today. I've left this much. So this is some cow poop, but it's under the cover of straw so it doesn't stink. I still have this, which I'm going to use straight away, because now I'm starting to map out the beds over there. Yeah. I've also done this. I was thinking what to do with these beds because they're next to the fence, and I want to have all my flowers here on both sides of the property on the 1 meter that we're not allowed to grow like tall stuff because rules and regulations, whatever. I need to take 1 meter from here and 1 meter from the other side and do nothing basically on it, but I'm just gonna grow all flowers and feed the pollinators and attract them. but I didn't want to do anything on these front beds like that because it's good medium and it's a raised bed. As you can see, it's like 40-50 centimeters. So then it just hit me, it's like, why not do potatoes? No dig potatoes. So I've done about 15 centimeters deep bed of straw on both sides, so both here. I think this is going to survive somehow because it's big, and on this side as well. All of this is deep bed until I'm planting the potatoes. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks it's gonna settle down and kill the weeds that were underneath, and hopefully be ready to plant soon. Got some clandestine strawberries here. Next step is gonna be mapping out the growing beds. So I will take 30 centimeters here on this side to do the pathway as we discussed before, so it's going to be about this much. I actually have a flower here, exactly where the flower is over there to the wall. That's 30 centimeters. The bed is going to be up till here, so from the pathway to where my foot is, just because this is the 1 meter that we're not allowed to plant in between like fences with neighbors. But still, I'll plant flowers in front of the blueberries. This is actually a quince tree, but those are blueberries. So I'll put flowers on this side, and my beds, my growing beds, are gonna be kind of this long. So that gives us about 4 meters. From here all the way to the greenhouse, in between the greenhouse and the pathway, and behind the greenhouse up until the fence. Be sure that I'm gonna get as many as I can. Here I will keep this established beds and I'll extend them up until the tiny house, because same on this side, we want to do trellis or like a tunnel with the cattle panels, like I don't know, something like this. Basically, I cannot find my English words today. Something like this, and grow all kind of beans and peas and, you know, cucamelons and all of this edibles. They're gonna grow on this places here, plus we're gonna save the flowers that are here. So the flowers and the vegetables and the fruits are gonna grow together. Let's get to work. It's almost 12 o'clock, so until 3, 4, 5 p.m. I would like to do as many beds as possible, but I don't want to kill these flowers here. So I think first, before I start anything, I will transplant all of these flowers on that belt so I don't kill them, because flowers are beautiful and we need pollinators fed and well taken care of now more than ever. I had to take a break now because the rain started, so I had a bit of a lunch and made myself a hot tea. Times like this, I wish I had a tiny wood burning stove in this tiny hut and just, you know, make a fire quickly, get warmth. I think it's 2 Celsius now, or closer to 1 Celsius, so freezing cold. Even this tea, I literally pulled the hot water maybe 3 minutes before I started the camera and it's already getting cold. So I've checked the 10 days forecast and it seems to be at least 1 more week until we have steady 12, 14 Celsius every single day, at least in the daytime. So I still can't plant anything or like even start the seedlings. Hopefully now with the greenhouse I'll check the temperature, because honestly today when I came in the morning there was like a 5-degree difference in between outside and inside of the greenhouse, because I kept it locked or closed during the night. I keep listening because today for some reason we had a lot of neighbors coming around and asking questions about the wood chips and the straw and this and that. And actually one lady, again it's a huge language barrier for me, but I had my missus on the other side of the phone speaking to her. She's into no-dig systems, and apparently she does that on her garden. So she really liked what we started to do here and was asking about the wood chips. So yeah, slowly we're meeting people, like-minded people, and who knows, in time maybe develop a community here of no diggers who can build soil and feed the microbiome instead of extracting, never caring for the future. For the 7th generation, like the First Nation people always learn, for the seventh generation. Can you imagine that? Having that mindset of not thinking about you, not thinking about your kids, not thinking about your grandkids or great-grandkids, but the 7th generation, taking daily decisions in such a way that you don't harm or deplete the resource to the point where it's going to be unusable or non-existent for that 7th generation. I think that's something all of us should think about. How can we get the same connection to nature that the First Nation tribes had and still have, whereas you take only what you need and you live in communion with nature, because nature wants to give us so much abundance that we cannot even imagine with our apparently large brains. And don't destroy. You just take what you need and you put back the leftovers. So you compost and you wood chip and you let the mushrooms decompose the dead logs instead of burning them. And there's so many things that we need to reconsider quick, because we don't have a lot of time. And hence our choice to do this, just to live a bit more close to nature and to get most of our food from nature, done with our own hands. Yeah, I think the rain just might have stopped. Let's see. All good, back to work. I think I'm done for today. Rain kept coming again and again and again and again. I've done as much as I could, but now the temperature is dropping. Even if the sun is a bit shiny, don't get fooled. I appreciate you, sun, but it's freaking cold, so I don't want to get sick with all my 4 layers. But I've done some stuff, so let me share with you. First of all, I've done this border, which is gonna allow me to have this 30 centimeters of wheelbarrow, I don't know, just walkway separation between the main beds and this section here, which more or less is going to be the growing medium for the arches. I've also mulched a couple of the trees, at least the ones in front of the greenhouse, and I managed to get even more straw in the greenhouse. So as you can see, I'll add more wood chips in time to the trees, but this is kind of it. I think I have 6 beds. This is just the baby phase, yeah? So I have the pathways, the walkways, 30 centimeters on each side, and then you have 60 centimeters inside, because basically, I'll try to show you what my aim is. Come on, sit down. So my aim is to basically do this, yeah? In between 60 centimeters, hello, so I can just walk, do my work, keep walking, do my work, and this is gonna be you know, an easier way to work on these beds. Now you're gonna ask yourself, like, this is gonna be a lot of shade from the trees, right? Well, yeah, I'll grow shade loving plants in the beds that are gonna be directly under trees, and we'll see. I mean, there's so many plants that don't like direct sunlight. That's why I'll have my tomatoes and my cucumbers on this side, because it's mainly exposed to the sun all day long from each angle. The sun comes from there, and the property is south facing, so I'm getting sun. You see, now it's 5 o'clock p.m. so the sun is over there and is going to keep on going that side. That's the tiny house, so you can see all of the property is south facing, so I'm getting a very nice exposure all day long. Even these plum trees, I recently learned from a cousin of mine who has been doing agriculture for a couple of years now, that some new age specialists, horticulturists and orchardists are pruning their trees in the summertime, because that's when they see exactly which branches or which branches are fruiting and which ones are either sick, dead, or just not bearing fruits. So that's when they cut it. So maybe I'll do the same if I have to with these plums to get a bit more sun exposure. But yeah, this is 20 meters row, tomatoes, cucumbers, a lot of them. That's it for today. Tomorrow will just be continuing with making the beds. If I manage by the end of this week to fill all of this part with just the frame for the beds, I'll be happy. With that being said, I say goodbye for today, and yeah, tomorrow morning sharp, back to work. It was one of those sunny 14 degrees Celsius days where I managed to do quite a lot of work, mainly to finish the beds that I started yesterday, but I finished them properly. I finished them with wood chips in the pathway, compost from Outback, and then I put a bit of cow poop, the one that I had there, so I spread it evenly. Got about maybe 10-15 centimeters of compost and poop, and then on top of that I've soaked most of the straw that was left over there, so I managed to do this. So in total I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how to count anymore. Yeah, 6 no dig deep mulch beds. I think I can get 2 more here when I'm gonna finish using this straw, because from tomorrow I'm gonna start building the beds towards the front of the greenhouse. So I'm just gonna continue, boom boom boom, leave that meter next to the neighbor over there, and just continue doing this 60 centimeters wide beds. It's 5:30 now, and I've been here since 11:30, 11:30 in the morning, because we had some errands to run in the day. It feels so good to be in the sun. It's magical what the sun does for the brain, for the mind, for the skin. This is it. This is his fantastic DIY compost heap, which is good. It's fantastic. It's quite deep, maybe in total is like 1 meter deep, and I'm not sure if this is going to be enough for everything, but I am happy to use this for every single gram that it has to offer. And if anything, either it's going to become the new composting heap for me if I manage to get my hands on 7 pallets, because that's how I calculate to have 3 bays. So bay 1 is where everything comes, then I can move it to bay 2 for aeration and, you know, getting some oxygen in and speed up the composting process, and then stage 3 finished product, where I can then take it and just top the beds up, because it's mandatory, because it's already like, it's kind of decent. I'm sure I can DIY the heck out of it and make it into a good composting bin, because even in this stage it has done its purpose, like it has done its job. I never get tired of the sound of this creek. I mean, coming from a place where you don't hear these things, listen. Problem is there's plastic all over here, so I need to come one of these days and just clean it up a bit, because I don't like all of this plastic. Beautiful, look, all of this new growth, beautiful. And also oh, what the heck is that? Look at that critter swimming. Is that a leech? Might be a leech, huh? Looks like a leech, walks like a leech, smells like a leech. Oh, and there's leech number 2 over there. I think they have a date. Careful, careful with corona. No more than 2 people meetings. Even in the creek you see all of this grasses and bushes. They're starting to get out and about. What I wanted to say is that this week the previous owner came to pick up some of his things, and he said that in the summertime there's quite a lot of fish here. Oh wow, something was moving over there. I'm sure it was something alive. Should I poke it? Let me know in the comments. I'll poke it next time. Or maybe no, I won't poke it. Let it be happy, let it do its own thing. Look at these beautiful flowers. Spring is here. And mushrooms. Got mushroom growing. Need to transplant all of this strawberries tomorrow maybe, and then all of that space over there with strawberries, I need to transplant them next to the greenhouse. I want to use every space. So for example here, if I'm not going to be able to do a bed like that because, you know, the tree is in the way, I'm gonna do a long bed like this. So I'll just adapt myself. This one in the back as well, everything is going to be used. If they're flowers, I'm going to transplant them on the sides of the property in that spare meter on both sides. There's a lot of berry bushes over there, climbing plants, climbing trees. This is lilac, and I cannot wait for this beautiful plant to blossom because I love lilac, and lilac is a spring plant. Can't wait for it to blossom, and the smell is exquisite. It's one of my favorite flowers. I would like you guys to get more nature than me, because I have nothing to teach you, at least not for now. This is my first year when I'm having the chance and the honor to practice or to apply what I've learned over the last about 8 years or so. So I don't think you're coming to this channel to learn something apart from, I don't know, anything that I've learned verbally. I can tell you, but I don't feel like I have the credentials right now to teach you anything. I can share the things that I've learned, but I don't see myself doing videos like this is how you need to do this is how you need to do that, because everybody has their own circumstances, their own climate, their own country, their own cities, their own environments. So all I can do is do what I'm doing and show you the results. And if this is something that you resonate with, and this is something that you would like to do yourself, maybe you can copy it. That's the only thing that I can give you for now. And I can also go on long freaking rants and rabbit holes. Not sure if that's something that you're interested in. Though I can do that. I can do about 19 hours of sharing a lot of stuff that I've experienced and learned over the last, I would say, 15 years, or maybe all 31 years of my whole life. So you guys let me know in the comments what kind of content you would like from me, because as of now the default is I'm doing my stuff, I'm filming as much as I can, I'm sharing with you every single step. I have nothing to hide. If I make a mistake, hopefully you're gonna learn from my mistake and save some time. If I have success, then hopefully you're gonna celebrate it with me, because right now one of the main reasons why we moved from London to It's not even the countryside. I wish it was the countryside, but we don't have right now the finances to buy, I don't know, 10 hectares of land and move off grid. That's the final dream. That's the end goal. That's what we're trying to get at. But we didn't want to wait for 10 more years in London and just dreaming about stuff. So the main reason is we came here to practice what we learned, to live more sustainably, to grow our own food, to live close to nature. Hello, bumblebee. To see bumblebees and bees and butterflies and flies and maggots every single day, to be in nature, to get dirt under our nails and be in close contact to Mother Nature. I don't care about volume of what we're growing here. All I care is that's our mission statement. Feed the soil, feed the microbiome, work in a co-creative state with Mother Nature. Biomimicry, yeah? We want to emulate what nature does. That's why we're doing no dig, because nature doesn't till every year. That's why we're doing deep mulch, because we're trying to emulate a forested system where it's high fungus, environment, fungus to bacteria environment. And if at the end of it I'm getting 2 tomatoes per tomato plants, I am happy with that, because those 2 tomatoes are going to be so nutritious, so full of vitamins and minerals and micronutrients and health. Basically, it's going to be a packaged health delivery mechanism to our body that's gonna be more valuable and more potent than 100 kilos of store-bought tomatoes. So I'm happy with that for the first year when we establishing this regenerative method of gardening, and everybody can do it. Yeah, I've done it in the UK in 2 square meter planters made out of pallets. There's people doing if not 1,000 acres, then millions of acres. Yeah, so people like Gabe Brown, people like Ray Archuleta, Dave Brandt. There's so many out there, not just American farmers, but like there's Australian farmers. So anywhere where we've destroyed the planet, now people are waking up and they're starting to implement these regenerative practices, because when you give more than you ask from nature, when you don't extract but give back, then nature gives you abundance, infinite abundance, like you never even imagined is possible to receive. So that's what we're gonna do, and I have zero doubts that this is gonna work, because I have seen it working, because this is how my grandparents have been farming. So I'm not super detached or distant or divorced from that way of life and that way of gardening and farming. It's just one generation of my parents who lived in the city who didn't have a chance to do it, but I had the option and the opportunity to spend most of my holidays, summer, winter, spring, with my grandma in the countryside, and learned through reverse osmosis by observing and by advice how to do proper animal husbandry, how to do proper gardening and foraging for food. So yeah, I'm happy to have the opportunity now to actually do this myself on this beautiful orchard / garden, where yes, you have some noise pollution from neighbors who just fucking listen to loud music, but at the same time, on the other hand, you got the birds and the wild ducks coming to the creek, and wild geese visiting, and the buzz of the bumblebees. I haven't seen any bees yet, but it's good. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to do this. And all I want to do is feed the soil. I think it's going to be very fun, and it's going to be a proof of concept. I'm not the only one. I am one of the many who are doing this, and I think it's time for a lot of people to kind of work with nature and move into a regeneration mentality instead of an extractive one. I just want this message to get out there, and for us to continue living on this beautiful planet instead of just disappearing like that. Been here for 7 hours, And basically what I've done all day was to map out the beds. I've done, I don't even know how many beds, but we can count them together. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's all of these beds. They are done now. I have some food scraps over there becoming soil slowly. My wood chip pile is nearing half. Done a lot of wood chips over here because it's like a platform of getting out of the greenhouse and getting in. So I'll do something here once I'm done with the main beds. I've started on this side here. Now the weather was fantastic, so I took my sweet ass time in the sun, and I think I burned a bit, which is fine. It was such a beautiful day. I mean, I live for this kind of days where all the birds are happy, the soil is happy, the sun is shining, and you know, life is being generated, and the plants are coming to life. I start to discover all kind of flowers. And look at the lilac. I showed the lilac to you, I think 2 or 3 days ago, and it was maybe this size, and look at it now. It's like quadrupled in size. Everything is starting to bloom or to show their leaves. So beautiful. The apples, they're starting to open up their buds. Ah, so excited. What's left is this part here in the back. So tomorrow and in the coming days, this is my plan, to map out this quarter of the property here with as many beds as I can. I've spoken to my beautiful wife, and we're gonna buy some more berry bushes, and we're gonna plant them along this second borderline, because you know the neighbors have the same. They have a lot of berry bushes along this 1 meter border, second border. So we're gonna do the same, because we don't really have, I mean, we have, I don't know if the camera is gonna pick this up, we got 4 or 5 over there, and then 3 or 4 here. I think we can do so much more, and now is the time. It's middle of April. For our climate here, which is zone 7A, this is the time to plant some more berry bushes, tiny things that are not going to grow too tall, and just along the side. And also this is going to be a nice border between so it's going to be berry bush, this is the neighbor border, this meter here is going to be very nice alleyway full of flowers and pollinator heaven. I am a bit tired. Every day is a hard working day, but it's exciting if anything to see all of this transformation, because this is beautiful. Yeah, this is nice, native herbs and weeds and plants and moss, a lot of moss, because it's a very humid or moist environment. But to see the beds, to see, you know, the nice strawberry beds, to see the deep mulch hay over there, and straight away you know it's working, because look at this garlic. Look at this garlic, just loving it. And we weren't I don't know, careful or planted stuff around it like I did with the strawberries and be like very nice and covered them. No, we just literally put all of this deep mulch, I would say 20 centimeters deep mulch on top of it, and for the first week nothing, but now they're all peeking out, they're all coming out, and this is going to be a very good garlic harvest. If you want to see something else, if you want me to do more talking, less time-lapsing, more taking you along the way when I do things, just let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do that. I think in many ways I want to do these videos just to have a log of what it was and what it's becoming and what it will be, because I do believe I'm gonna do a corner of heaven here, and plants will grow with or without us, no matter how much we try to poison them and you know, herbicidize them and fungicidize them and kill everything. No matter how much money we spend and how much we kill ourselves in the process, weeds, plants, mushrooms, trees, bushes, brushes, anything, life will sprout from the earth. Now we have a choice. Do we want to grow lawn? Do we want to grow an orchard? Do we want to grow forest? Or do we want to grow food? If I had 100 acres, I would split it in high chunks of native pasture and forest, and then I'll have, I don't know, 4 acres just for me to feed myself and my family, and that's it. That's all I need. But I would prioritize wildlife and, you know, natural biodiversity, natural ecosystem. You know, I would do that. But on a fifth of an acre, not even 1,000 square meters, so below 1,000 square meters, I am choosing to grow nutritious, dense food, delicious food to feed myself and my family and my loved ones, and that's what's gonna grow. And flowers, I mean, because I want to attract and to feed and to make it into a pollinator hotel where they stay for free and they get ultra all-inclusive service. There will always be something growing. There's always going to be a living root in the ground, but that root is going to be of a plant that is edible. And I know there's the argument that every plant is edible. I get it, but you know, I like onion and I like garlic and I like leeks and I like aubergines and I like vegetables. Yeah. So I would rather grow more of that and less, I don't know, dandelions, which I know they're amazing and they have anti-cancer properties. But that being said, I'm going to leave you guys because I am on the brink of going on another of my rabbit holes, and I don't want to take more of your time. Thank you very much for watching, and see you tomorrow. every day. So exciting. Love you. Bye.